Back with us on the SportsMax Zone. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has led the pushback against racist trolls who posted disgusting messages on social media attacking the three players who missed their spot kicks as England lost the Euro 2020 final to Italy at Wembley on Sunday. Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho and Bukayo Saka, three of the youngest members of the Three Lions, were singled out by racists who blamed their blackness as the reason for their failure from the penalty spot. These are some of the messages posted on social media, and I will tell you what they were saying. Here we go. Right, so one racist posted, "Go back to Africa, you monkey," referring to Saka. And, well, what is true is that we'll have them in our interactive segment for you because we need to show you the graphic of what was being said. If we can move right along. The Football Association in England issued this statement earlier on Monday. Do we have that statement from the Football Association?
Yeah, I have it.
All right.
Do you want?
Yes, please go.
The FA strongly condemns all forms of discrimination and is appalled by the online racism that has been aimed at some of our England players on social media. We could not be clearer that anyone behind such disgusting behavior is not welcoming following the team. We will do all we can to support the players affected while urging the toughest punishments possible for anyone responsible.
Right. So one social media user posted, "Every nigger missed a pen. Rashford, Sancho, Saka, go kill yourselves, nigger monkeys, or return to your natural habitat of growing bananas. Bleeping slaves." Another one wrote, "Three monkeys made us lose. Sad day for England." Another one posted, "Three bleeping niggers missed. Stick BLM, Black Lives Matter, up my arse." To recap the actual football match and talk about the achievement of Roberto Mancini's Italy is our Europe correspondent, Simon Evans. Simon, good afternoon. Welcome to the SportsMax Zone again, my friend.
Good afternoon, yeah.
Good. Let's talk about the football. Let's give it its proper treatment. Your assessment of the Wembley spectacle on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, it started so well for England, didn't it, with an early goal, fastest goal ever in a Euro final, 1 minute 57 seconds for Luke Shaw to put England ahead, and Wembley Stadium erupted, and it felt like England were on their way then, and the Italians do what the Italian teams do so well. They got themselves back into the game, and then really after half-time, Roberto Mancini took control of things, really intelligent substitutions, kept the momentum push going towards Italy. They got themselves the equaliser, and then they went and won it in penalties with a pretty disastrous end to it all for England, really.
Funny you mention the fact of Mancini's substitutions, because we could classify Sunday's game as one where a manager was trying to affect the game with his substitutions when he made them and who he replaced, while another manager seemed very reluctant to trust anybody who was not in his starting 11 to do a job for him.
Exactly. I mean, you look at the changes Mancini made around 54, 55 minutes, a double substitution. He took out Immobile, he changed his front line around completely and went to a false nine system, and Southgate didn't really respond to that. And of course, the man England have turned to as their super sub, their impact sub, really has been Jack Grealish. He didn't come in until the 99th minute of the game. So, Southgate really didn't manage to impact things the way that Mancini did at all.
Gareth Southgate, Simon, he came out and of course he took responsibility for what took place with the penalties, saying of course Saka, the 19-year-old, he was the one who put him there, and rightfully so. But do you feel as if Gareth Southgate had gone with a different player? Because there are a lot of players that put their hands up after and responded, saying that they would have loved to take the penalty. Things would have been differently for England?
Well, Jack Grealish came out because Roy Keane had called them out. Roy Keane, the former Manchester United player, the pundit, came out and said, how could players like Raheem Sterling and Jack Grealish, who are relatively experienced compared to Saka, stand there and watch him take a penalty? And Grealish said, hey, that was the coach's call. That's what Southgate had told us to do. I was ready to take a penalty if I wanted to, but Southgate made the decision and we back his decision. Was it the right decision to give a 19-year-old who's never taken a penalty in a professional game, as far as we know? Certainly not for Arsenal in the Premier League, to go out there and take such a...
Definitely. And of course, you know, at the end of the match, I couldn't help but notice Jordan Pickford's face. Of course, you know, he really stepped up for England despite them losing and did as much as he could have done in those final moments. How impressed were you with his performance?
Yeah, I mean, he gave them a chance again, didn't he, with that brilliant save in the shootout that meant that Saka could have levelled it up for England. Yeah, he did very well. I wonder whether he shouldn't have kicked one as well, because, you know, we've seen him in the past take a penalty in the shootout and did very well with it. You know, he had a good tournament, but, you know, so did the Italy goalkeeper, didn't he? What a fantastic performance he delivered, Donnarumma, and won it for them, really. So, you know, you look at those choices and you think, you know, the decision to bring on Rashford and Sancho so late just to be penalty kick takers, you wonder when a player is cold, they've been out of the game, they've been hanging on the touchline waiting to come on. Is that really the right frame of mind to go into such a high pressure situation? It seems probably not.
Yeah, Simon, you referenced it just now in Mariah's question with Grealish and his post-game response to make it clear that he was willing to take a penalty and put his hand up. The fact that he has come out to actually say that and, you know, put the ball back into the gaffer's court, how do you take that? Is that something that Southgate would be offended over?
No, I don't think so, because he said it in a way that, you know, we backed his decisions all the way through the tournament and we backed this one as well. I think he had to defend himself a little bit when people are suggesting that he was a coward and didn't want to take a pressure penalty kick and left it up to young Saka to take the kick rather than take the responsibility himself. I think he was just defending himself from that, really. But, you know, you go back to it and you look at it and you think, like, why wasn't so many people I know who don't really watch football were like, why was that young lad, an inexperienced lad, who I have to say looked very nervous on the field when he came on. I don't think he played very well when he came on as a substitute. His confidence was probably a little bit wavering. I mean, it's just an inexplicable decision, I think, really.
Yeah, but Simon, isn't it true, though, and I was perturbed by what Roy Keane said during the game, because I'm saying, but he should know better, that these penalty decisions are made before the game. In fact, it's what the players have done at the end of every training session before they pack up the cones. You have a round of penalties, especially when you go into a final. So the decision wouldn't have been made as the game wore old. The decision would have been made, okay, this is our penalty pool, this is the order that we've practiced them and everything. And so Saka wasn't a random choice as some people are making it seem to be. Rashford wasn't a random choice. The fact of the two Harrys kicking first wasn't random either. Kane first, Maguire second. That was a settled order from the planning stage, and that was what they planned to execute. So I find it curious that people are wanting to criticize the coach for implementing a plan that they prepared to implement, but which went awry because of human nature and the fact that no matter how you practice penalties, you don't practice it with the expectation of the nation watching you and the stadium full and all your mates and family watching on TV.
Well, exactly, but that's the point, isn't it? You can base your entire selection on what somebody's doing at St. George's Park on an empty field surrounded by a few of their teammates and expect that that's automatically going to be the best choice for in front of 65,000 people in a final. So, you know, I have no doubt that Saka was an excellent penalty taker at St. George's Park, and I'm not trying to jump at all. I feel really, really sorry for him, and what's happened afterwards has been absolutely awful. But in that situation, wouldn't you have turned to Sterling or Grealish?
But Simon, consider this. So immediately in the aftermath of the game, when all this started and the talk about the fact of Saka's age and experience and everything, I went back to 2008, the Luzhniki Stadium, Moscow, Manchester United, Chelsea, final of the Champions League. Alex Ferguson takes out Wayne Rooney and puts in Nani in his first year at Manchester United, 21 years old. In his first season, he had just completed his first season in the Premier League. He takes out another player in the 120th minute and puts in Anderson, a Brazilian who's only 20 years old. Both of those young boys, one 20 years old, one 20-year-old, both into their first season in English football, both scored. We all know what happened with John Terry and Nicolas Anelka's penalty. Manchester United won on penalties. So I'm saying there is more than previous history, record, more than enough precedent or precedents of coaches putting young players and entrusting them with pressure penalties. And people can say, yes, but that was the Champions League. This is the European Championship final. I'll argue which one is the bigger game, and it's not the Euro. But I'm saying that youngsters with not many games in England under their belt in that pressure situation have stepped up and taken pressure penalties and scored. We must remember, Saka wasn't the only one to miss in the penalty shootout. Jorginho, the king of penalties, also missed. So I don't want anyone to make it seem as if it was Saka's age and inexperience that caused him to fluff his lines in the most high-pressure situation.
No, at all. And, Marcus Rashford has taken a number of penalties for Manchester United, hasn't he?
Yes.
You wouldn't get that penalty from him. The pressure affects people in different ways, doesn't it? In those situations, And that's why I'm always a little bit sceptical of the it's good on the training ground, because it's a completely different environment, we know that in the jobs that we do, Having a conversation with someone is different from broadcasting. And it's what it's all about. It's handling it when the spotlight is on.
Yeah, last assignment before we go, the time is almost up. Look, I've not been a fan, I must tell you, of Jorginho. In the Maurizio Sarri days, when he was supposed to be this brain box midfielder, I wasn't fancying him either. Frank Lampard, he played awfully under Lampard. Maybe he was used incorrectly. He has taken on a new lease on life under the guidance of Thomas Tuchel. But my, Simon, that man played a game and a half on Sunday. Wasn't quite effective in the first half, but from the second half onwards, Jorginho was outstanding. What say you about his contribution to Italy's success yesterday?
Yeah, that midfield area that Italy dominated. You look at the possession stats. England did very well in the first 20 minutes, but overall, Italy had 65% possession at Wembley Stadium in a cup final. And if you take those first 20 minutes out, then basically they played for an hour with 75+% possession. And a lot of that was down to Jorginho, who just keeps things ticking, keeps things moving, keeps control of the thing, and allowed Italy to dominate that game and get in the end, what was a deserved win, really. Because, you take that first 15, 20 minutes out of it, Italy were by far the better side.
Yeah, I saw a team of the tournament, Simon, that had Harry Kane at centre forward. And I'm saying Harry Kane was the best centre forward on display at the Euros. I'm going to have to ask Simon Evans what he thinks. So I'm asking you what you think.
I don't think he had a great tournament, to be honest, and I thought he was playing far too deep. Now, whether that's Gareth Southgate's instructions or that's the way Harry Kane has developed as a player, because we've seen him doing it at Tottenham, where he was playing at times in that game deep in midfield. No, he wouldn't be in my team of the tournament at all. I would have a few England players in that team of the tournament. I think Kyle Walker has been outstanding. I think Raheem Sterling has been one of the top players in the tournament, but I wouldn't have Harry Kane in it, no.
For sure. Don't forget my Manchester United boys. Luke Shaw especially. Yeah?
Yeah, another player had an excellent tournament. Well, Manchester United and England are going to become two very close things soon, I think, because when Mason Greenwood gets back to full fitness next season, Manchester United's front line, if you take Cavani out of the picture, you're going to have Rashford, Greenwood and Sancho. It could be the Manchester United and the England front three.
There you go.
So George, you might have to switch allegiance.
To what? To
England, because
Never.
all your Man U boys will be there.
No, the Republic of Mancunia is my country. Thank you very much, Simon. All the best to you. All right.
Cheers,
Good. Yeah, so it was a good game on Sunday.
So good. It was
the
too
better
long.
team won. The better team won. I'm so happy. Yeah, sad for Raheem Sterling. There was a big watch party. I don't know if you saw the images on social media. There was a big watch party in Marvelly, the community of his birth in Jamaica.
Okay.
A lot of cheers on the big screen.
Yes.
And they didn't get the party that they probably deserved, but at other places in the country and in the Caribbean, I'm sure the Italian fans were living it up.